If you're looking for the best condenser microphones, here's the list you must see. We made this list based on our personal preference and sorted it based on their features, prices, quality, durability, and reputation of the manufacturers and customer feedback. Also, we have included options for every type of customer. So let's get started. At the 10th position of our list, we have Neumann KM 184. Vocalists love mics that flatter their voices by adding a little low-end warmth or some top-end presence. Large diaphragm condensers are just the job because they sprinkle a touch of sonic fairy dust over the sound. But when it comes to miking instruments, audiences expect to hear faithful renditions of the original source without anything being added or taken away. This is where small diaphragm condensers come in because they have a relatively flat response that yields a very transparent sound. Their tiny size means they're also very easy to place and visually unobtrusive. The Neumann KM 184 is one of the best regarded small diaphragm condensers, especially for miking drum overheads. Usually bought in matched pairs or sets for stereo or surround sound applications, it is also a popular choice for piano, acoustic guitar, violin, woodwind, and brass. Small diaphragm condensers can be used for vocals, but usually only where complete authenticity is required. Moving on to the next at number 9 with Sennheiser E965. The E965 is a rare beast in that Sennheiser has specifically developed it for handheld stage use. Ordinarily, this is not comfortable territory for a large diaphragm condenser mic. These prefer to be cossetted in a shock mount and protected by a large pop shield. Condenser mics are also very susceptible to handling noise, so this is an impressive feat for Sennheiser to pull off. Dynamic mics rule on stage for a variety of reasons, but mostly because they are inherently robust. Unfortunately, they cannot come close to matching the frequency response of a good condenser mic, so audiences listening to talented singers with good range risk being shortchanged. Enter the E965, which transmits even the finest nuances in impressive detail. Polar patterns can be switched between cardioid and supercardioid to reject unwanted sounds. There's a low-cut filter to omit rumble, and a built-in pop filter handles plosives. If you want your audience to hear every detail, this could be the mic for you. The number 8 position is held by AKG C414 XL2. The C414 XL2 is AKG's valiant attempt to reproduce the sound of its iconic C12 microphone from the 1950s. Its frequency curve has a slightly more pronounced lift above 3 kHz, which gives it an airier top end than its close siblings, the C414B XLS. The headline features its 9 switchable patterns, which harks back to the original C12. There are 5 bass patterns: omnidirectional, wide cardioid, cardioid, hypercardioid, and figure 8. But these can be combined with one another for sonic experimentation. Pad settings provide -6 dB, -12 dB, and -18 dB attenuation levels, and 3 different low-cut filters can be employed. This comprehensive feature set means the C414 XL2 can tackle just about anything. As a C12 sound-alike, it's outstanding for vocals, but it can also handle piano, strings, horns, and woodwind with aplomb. Build quality is excellent. Next at number 7 we have Shure SM27. Condenser microphones rely on their thin, often fragile diaphragms to deliver outstanding frequency response. They sound sublime right up until the point when they're dropped, kicked, soaked in beer, left out in the rain, or sat on by a fat roadie. Which is why many spend most of their life shut safely out of harm's way in the haven of a warm studio. The Shure SM27 is an altogether more rugged beast. If it had arms, they'd be tattooed old-school hearts and anchors, and if it had friends, they'd look and talk like Jason Statham. Shure's entire SM range, including the SM27, is designed to take the kind of punishment that live performance inflicts. You'd think that its sonic characteristics would be compromised in some way, but the SM27 has a flat, neutral frequency response and very low self-noise. It's perfect for reproducing faithful, natural renditions of delicate sound sources such as tender vocals, acoustic guitar, strings, cymbals, woodwind, and saxophone. A -15 decibel pad means it's equally brilliant for miking up screamers and guitar caps. The SM27 is a proper all-rounder that's equally at home in the studio or on the stage. The number 6 position is held by Slate Digital VMS. Let's face it, equipping your studio with a fine quiver of classic mics is going to cost you a 5-figure sum, which for many of us just isn't feasible. But before getting too disheartened, it's worth considering whether modeling technology might help you realize your dream. Slate's take on this technology is to provide studios with an entire system, mic, preamp, and plug-in, so that the integrity of the entire audio signal is guaranteed. This should mean the end result more closely matches the audio characteristics of the original mics. The manufacturer's system mic, the ML1, is a large diaphragm FET that promises to provide a flat, clean response, and the bundled hardware preamp is similarly neutral and pristine. The perfect blank canvas, if you like. The magic happens when this transparent signal is processed by one of the 8 included mic models loaded into Slate's virtual mix rack software. The models are the FG47, the FG800, the FG251, the FG67, the FG12, the FG-M7, and the FG269. 2 software preamps are also bundled with the VMS, the FG73 and the FG76. Flicking between the mic models opens up a whole new world for us. The characters are very distinct and entirely in keeping with what we expect. There's so much on offer here, it's a very seductive package. The number 5 position is dominated by Audio-Technica AT5040. In the main, microphone design hasn't changed that much in decades, and models introduced 30, 40, or even 50 years ago are still bestsellers today. It seems engineers of the last century got it pretty much right. Well, not quite. The AT5040 is that rare step forward in microphone development. Large diaphragm mics benefit from high sensitivity and lower noise, but at the cost of limited high-frequency response. After much experimentation, mic designers have discovered that a 1-inch diaphragm hits the sweet spot for vocals and many other applications too. It's very common to find small diaphragm mics in action, but unusual to find anything with a diaphragm larger than 1 inch. The big brain engineers at Audio-Technica rethought the whole capsule size conundrum and came up with an alternative solution. They built a 4-part rectangular grid that delivers more than twice the surface area of a traditional 1-inch diaphragm. Essentially, the 4 parts are summoned together, overcoming the shortcomings of one large diaphragm. The result is a mic with an incredibly open, detailed, neutral voice that works superbly on vocals and when positioned carefully on acoustic guitar and percussion too. As you'd expect, the sound responds particularly well to EQ. The AT5040 is an expensive mic, but it's ultra quiet, sounds wonderful, and is built completely by hand. A thing of beauty. Moving on to the next at number 4 with Neumann TLM 103. Neumann is one of the most revered names in microphones, but the breathtaking sonic character of its products are usually matched by a heart-stopping price. To address this, some years ago the manufacturer introduced a range of more pocket-friendly TLM branded models, one of which was the TLM 103. Originally aimed at home studios, the mic has since found its way to the hands of many pros. So how does it stack up against a proper Neumann? Very well, as it happens. The TLM 103 is built by Neumann as an affordable version of the venerable U87 AI, one of the best loved studio microphones in the world. Its capsule design is derived from the U87 AI, but instead of offering 3 polar patterns, the TLM 103 is a fixed cardioid. Both mics share a similar sonic character, but the TLM 103 has a slightly wider presence boost for frequencies about 5 kHz. This lends its voice a touch more clarity. Despite the lack of pad, filter, and switchable patterns, this is more than just a great vocal mic. Try it with acoustic guitars, drum overheads, piano, classical strings, and even lightly driven electric guitar cabs, and you won't be disappointed. Some will dismiss the TLM 103 as a budget Neumann, but if you don't need the additional features of the U87 AI, then ignore the haters and save yourself a bundle. The number 3 position is held by Aston Microphone Spirit. The Aston Spirit may not offer any groundbreaking features or revelatory new tech, but it does stay true to the original spirit of Aston, which is to develop fine quality instruments that punch above their mid-range price point. And of course, it's made in Britain with pride. The Spirit has a very strong aesthetic, a look shared by its siblings, the Origin. Their wave-shaped sprung mesh guards and solid stainless steel casings mark them out as something a bit special in a crowded market. A rather smart, black textured version is available too as part of the Spirit Black bundle, which comes complete with a much-needed shock mount and pop filter. 3 switchable patterns are on tap: cardioid, omni, and figure 8. There's also a pad with selectable -10 dB and -20 dB attenuation, plus an 80 Hz low-cut filter. It performs wonderfully for vocals and acoustic guitar, displaying a smooth mid-range, a high top, and agreeable brightness. The proximity effect response is well tamed, so close miking vocals in cardioid mode isn't a biggie. With its switchable polar patterns and low noise characteristic, it also suits room mic and distant miking modes. The Spirit is great value for money. The slightly more expensive Spirit Black bundle even more so. Next at number 2 we have Lewitt LCT 940. If you love the idea of shaping sound with a microphone or instantly being able to dial in a faithful tone, then the Lewitt LCT 940 is worthy of a place on your shortlist. Fancy the warmth of a tube mic 1 minute and the purity of an FET mic the next? Fancy the warmth of a tube mic 1 minute and the purity of an FET mic the next? Well, the LCT gives you both at a twist of a dial, plus the ability to blend them together. The LCT 940 is 2 quality mics in one and everything in between. To help you access its myriad features, Lewitt provides a decent-sized combined PSU and remote control unit. Turn the left-hand dial to choose between FET and tube circuitry, or any blend of the two. Twist the right-hand dial to select one of 9 polar patterns: omni, broad cardioid, cardioid, supercardioid, and figure 8, plus an additional 4 intermediate patterns that sit between them. Pad settings range from -6 dB to a substantial -18 dB, enabling the mic to pick up some seriously loud sounds. A low-cut filter operates from 40 Hz right up to 300 Hz, well into the lower mid-range. These features add up to one very versatile studio tool. Whether you're looking for an instrument to record a faithful rendition of a sound source, or you want to creatively enhance it, the LCT 940 fits the bill. Talking of bills, this mic may carry a relatively high price tag, but it offers a heck of a lot for the money. Finally, the number 1 position is dominated by Rode NT1. Rode claims that its recently revamped NT1 is the world's quietest 1-inch cardioid condenser with a self-noise level of just 4.5 dB. We certainly found it ultra-quiet and versatile enough to mic a wide variety of sources. Its smart, sleek design and dark gray livery look uber cool, but the minimalist form factor does lack switches for a bass roll-up or pad. At this price point, that's hardly surprising. What the NT1 does offer is exceptional performance. Vocals are crisp and detailed with plenty of warm low end, nothing amiss in the mid-range, and a wonderful airy clarity to the top end. That silky top end provides fantastic results when recording acoustic guitars and handheld percussion. We have no doubt the NT1 would perform admirably as a drum overhead or on a piano. The lack of pad probably precludes it from close miking loud drums and guitar cabs, but it's heartily recommended for almost every other studio application. A suspension shock mount and pop shield are included in the box, making the NT1 exceptional value. That's all for today. We upload product review videos every single day, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for the upcoming video notification.